The war in Ukraine has been one where fathers and sons have served on the same front lines. This was how it was for 22-year-old Eugene Gromitsky, who, on the first day of the invasion, stood shoulder to shoulder with his father Oleg on the outskirts of Kharkiv. In those crucial first hours, Eugene was in command of a unit that attacked and destroyed Russian vehicle columns and captured prisoners, earning him the country's highest military honor, while his father would face a different fate. Eugene has been in the thick of the conflict almost the entire time. He started out as a lieutenant in the National Guard and is now a senior lieutenant in the Army's 92nd Mechanized Brigade, which is named after Ivan Serko, a 17th-century Cossack military leader. The intelligence platoon Eugene commands calls themselves Serko's Rowdy Boys, with their motto being revenge for all. He considers them as family. On a cold December morning in Kupiansk, some 120 kilometers southeast of Kharkiv, Eugene explains that the early days of the war were frustrating. Ukrainian forces took back a village or two, but there was little momentum. They were on the defensive and underprepared, and then a summer stalemate set in. But in September, a coordinated counteroffensive began, starting from Balaklia and going all the way down to Kupiansk. As we ride inside one of his platoon's armored personnel carriers, Eugene explains why the September operation was key. It was really important for the boys that we were able to accomplish a counteroffensive. Everyone was very motivated. They were taking back their own territory, taking back homes of their own families. It was really needed. War toughens the heart, and death is its companion. Eugene has lost many men close to him, so he is asked if he fears death. Death is one of war's problems. Death loves brave ones, and courage must be used cleverly. There is no need to be afraid of death, he says. But he reconsiders for a moment and continues, the person who is not afraid is already dead. I don't think about mortality, I think only about life of my comrades, and the life of my unit. In the front seat of the Apka Sasha, who recently joined the platoon after his village was liberated from the Russians. The noise inside the Apka is deafening, even before its 30mm cannon opens fire on some farm buildings where they suspect Russians are hiding. Condensation drips from the metal roof, 2 dim lights emit a pale green glow, and the vehicle's 8 sturdy wheels slip and slide through the mud, swaying us from side to side. The Apka can go no further, so they turn around. Days later, another Ukrainian vehicle would become stuck at the same spot. A Russian helicopter attacked, causing significant casualties. Inside the Apka, Eugene falls into a deep sleep despite the din. He had only 2 hours of rest the night before and remains sound asleep until the vehicle makes it back to base. And the heavy steel handle by his ear clunks open. The unit is crammed into a few rooms in an abandoned house, and a huge pot filled with potatoes and pork sits atop a wood-burning stove. Eugene eats standing up. The counter-offensive has taken its toll on Ukrainian equipment and men along this front. A punishing winter lies ahead, but Eugene remains optimistic. I think it will be very difficult, but we will manage, he says. After a few days of rest, Eugene and his platoon are back on the front lines, pushing forward towards Russian-occupied territory. Their next objective is a small village, where they suspect Russian forces are hiding. The journey is slow and dangerous, with the threat of ambushes and landmines at every turn. As they approach the village, Eugene's platoon splits into smaller units to cover more ground. Eugene leads one of these units, consisting of 6 soldiers. They move cautiously through the village, searching for any signs of enemy activity. Suddenly, they hear gunfire coming from one of the houses. Eugene and his soldiers rush towards the source of the sound, taking cover behind walls and vehicles as they go. As they get closer, they see 2 Russian soldiers firing from a window. Eugene quickly assesses the situation and formulates a plan. He orders his soldiers to provide cover fire while he and 2 others flank the building from the side. They move quickly and silently, staying low to avoid detection. As they reach the side of the building, Eugene signals to his comrades to start firing. The distraction works, and the Russian soldiers turn their attention towards the front of the house. Eugene and his soldiers use this opportunity to enter the building from the side. Inside, they find themselves face to face with the 2 Russian soldiers. A fierce firefight ensues, with bullets ricocheting off the walls and furniture. Eugene and his soldiers show remarkable skill and bravery, taking out both Russian soldiers without sustaining any casualties themselves. The battle won, Eugene and his soldiers search the house for any other threats. They find evidence of a larger Russian presence in the area, including maps, weapons, and communications equipment. Eugene's unit takes all the evidence back to their base, where it is analyzed by military intelligence. The information proves crucial in planning the next phase of the counter-offensive. As the war rages on, Eugene becomes increasingly disillusioned with the conflict. He sees firsthand the toll it takes on both sides, with civilians caught in the crossfire and soldiers dying needlessly. But even in the darkest moments, Eugene never loses his sense of duty and commitment to his country. He continues to lead his platoon with courage and skill, always putting the safety of his comrades above his own. In the end, the war takes a toll on Eugene's physical and mental health. He suffers from PTSD and other injuries sustained in combat. But despite the hardships, he never loses his sense of pride in serving his country. As he looks back on his time in the military, Eugene says that he is proud of what he and his comrades accomplished. They fought bravely against a formidable enemy, and they never gave up in the face of overwhelming odds. And even as he struggles to come to terms with the trauma of war, Eugene knows that he will always be a soldier at heart. His commitment to his country and his fellow soldiers will never waver, no matter what the future holds. Eugene also speaks about the importance of support from the Ukrainian people. He describes how, during the early days of the war, soldiers were often left to fend for themselves, without proper equipment or supplies. But now, he says, the situation has improved, and people have come together to support the troops. We felt really lonely in the beginning. It felt like nobody cared, he says. But now it's different. We feel that the people are with us. They are helping us. It gives us strength. The war has had a profound impact on Eugene's life. He has grown up quickly, learning the harsh realities of conflict and the importance of brotherhood and loyalty. He has lost friends and comrades, but he has also gained a deep appreciation for life and the bonds that hold us together. I have changed a lot since the war started, he says. I have seen a lot of things, and I have learned a lot. I have learned that life is precious, and that we need to take care of each other. We need to stand together, and we need to fight for what is right. As we finish our interview, Eugene insists on showing me around the base. He introduces me to his comrades, and they welcome me warmly, offering me tea and snacks. They are young men, mostly in their early 20s, but they carry themselves with a sense of purpose and determination that belies their age. It is clear that they are proud of what they are doing, and that they believe in the cause for which they are fighting. They are not just soldiers, but patriots, fighting for the future of their country and their people. As I leave the base, I am struck by the bravery and resilience of these young men. They are facing an enemy that is better armed and better funded, but they are not giving up. They are standing firm, shoulder to shoulder, like Eugene and his father did on the first day of the war. They are fighting for their families, their homes, and their way of life. They are fighting for Ukraine.